In this video, I will share the basics of fertilizing plants based on high-light plants, which are fast-growing plants, and low-light plants, which are slow-growing plants. At end of this video, you will come up with the understanding and a clear thoughts of what fertilizer to use on which type of plants. And with this, hello plant lovers, I'm Nishat Subah. I'm a plant expert, create videos on plant care, propagation and troubleshoot. So if you are interested, then feel free to subscribe with the bell. First, talk about the higher light requiring plants or fast growing plants such as succulents, flowering plants, vegetable plants, and most of the bright light requiring aroids such as monsteras, pothos, ferns, and philodendrons. Direct sunlight requiring or more than 4 hours of bright light requiring plants are generally heavy feeder plants. They grow fast, so they utilize a lot of nutrients. Such types of plants prefer to be fertilized once every 2 to 4 weeks during the active growing seasons, which are spring and summer, with a good proportion of NPK, which are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Since high light requiring plants grow fast and photosynthesize more, they require often fertilization. Now, among the high light plants, some plants are grown only for their foliage, which are either edible or grown for their unique leaf structure and colors. These types of plants require fertilizers with high nitrogen content. Nitrogen helps in cell synthesis and photosynthesis, which ultimately improves the foliar growth. Furthermore, seedlings, propagated cuttings, and repotted plants also prefer nitrogen-rich fertilizer to stabilize fast. On the other hand, phosphorus is used to increase the flower and fruit production as well as to improve the root health of the plants. And potassium is used to increase the number of flowers and fruits and prevent bud drop issues. You can use organic or inorganic fertilizers and go with liquid or granular forms. Ensure you are going with balanced NPK rational fertilizers, such as you can use 20:20:20 or 10:10:10 rational NPK containing fertilizers for foliage plants, mostly the aroids, and 10:15:10 NPK for the flowering and fruiting plants. As an organic source of fertilizer, you can use compost, vermicompost, leaf manure, trichocompost, which all have a good proportion of NPK, or you can go specific, such as you can use fish meal as a source of nitrogen and potassium, and bone meal or horn meal to supply phosphorus. Start fertilizing with a small proportion and change the nutrient supplements along with the plant growth stage, such as when the plants are in the budding stage, use potassium. If you want flowers or improve the root system of the plant, use phosphorus. Next, talk about the fertilization for low-light plants or slow-growing plants, which include most of the understory rainforest plants generally can thrive with 3 hours of bright light, such as snake plants, ZZ plants, and peace lilies. These plants require fewer doses of fertilizer, such as every 6 to 8 weeks or even less during spring and summer, which are their growing period. The low-light plants mostly take longer to bloom, so you can feed them with organic fertilizer or diluted balanced fertilizer with NPK 10:10:10. I have provided all the product links in the description box and pinned comment. Now let me give you some examples. This is an Arabian jasmine plant that blooms from spring through fall, and it's a higher light requiring plant. So after pruning in spring, it needs nitrogen and phosphorus rich fertilizer once every 15 to 25 days to increase the flower production. This is an Areca palm, a higher light requiring plant, but doesn't like direct sunlight exposure. Rather, prefers bright indirect light exposure as well as being grown for its beautiful feathery leaves. Such plants require higher nitrogen-containing fertilizer along with other nutrients in a small proportion. Use leaf compost, fish meal, or cow manure to supply nitrogen as an organic form of fertilizer. Snake plants are slow-growing plants and supplied with an even proportion of NPK fertilizer such as Osmocote, which is a slow-release fertilizer, and one application can last up to 90 days. Whether the plant is fast-growing plant or a slow-growing plant, avoid over-fertilizing. If the plant is receiving enough light and water, fertilize the plant with a good proportion, but if the plant is not receiving sufficient light or stressed out due to overwatering or other problems, avoid fertilizing until the plant is in a good condition. Skip fertilizing during winter when most of the high light and low light plants become dormant and rarely use nutrients. Now, I hope all this information gave you an overview of how to feed your different kinds of plants. But if I miss any point, or if you have some mind-blowing tips about fertilizing plants, then feel free to share in the comments so we can improve our knowledge. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.